Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some treasure map with some team building for the intrusion and the final boss battle with one of the new batch on the team. So if you guys did some summons on the treasure map banner, maybe just threw whatever gems you had left after New Year's at the Onsen banner, did 3 multis and managed to pick up either one of the rare recruits, so you got lucky and you got Luffy, you might be able to build some of these teams. Now, this is going under the impression that you guys have the New Year's batch, because honestly, like, you should be throwing your gems at those banners if you're throwing them in anywhere at all. Make sure to pick up those Super Sugo characters, pick up some characters on those banners before diving into the treasure map banner. But I understand if you threw just 3 multis at the treasure map banner, picked up 1 booster, and then now you're going back to the banners that are available for New Year's. But these teams do include the New Year's batch legends. However, we will talk about some replacements for them, but if these teams help you out, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. We will be farming for the 5+ Edward Newgate, Anger of Family being taken away. And the first team utilizes the Nami rare recruit. So Nami is the rare recruit that gives cooldown. She's probably the most replaceable on these teams. I have included Zoro Sanji. They're so good for the Robin Jinbei fight, and they're over here on the intrusion. And we're using Roger and Odin as our captain. But as I was saying, Nami can give 1 turn of cooldown, plus she's an orb booster, as well as an attack booster if you're below 10% HP. So being below 10% HP is actually pretty challenging to do. However, with this particular team build, we're using Ace, and Ace can get below that certain threshold pretty easily. Now, the reason I'm using Ace here is so that way we can use Whitebeard and Ace to get the Super EX of Roger and Odin. And with this particular fight, you do have poison sockets, which is a little bit annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Roger and Odin Super EX and then use their special on turn 1. That's going to give us a full board of Wano slots, and that way you don't have to worry about the poison sockets at all. Whitebeard's going to take care of all of this, whether or not you're using the new 5+ Whitebeard or the old one with the Whitey base support. You should be able to get around the 2 turns of barriers here. And then on death, you're going to take an 80% HP card. That's going to keep you below this threshold for Luffy, but it's not going to keep you below the threshold for Nami. Nami needs to be below 10%. However, what you actually can do is use the special of Ace to get yourself nice and low. You have a striker as a captain, so you're actually getting the conditional boost. Doesn't matter where your Ace sits, like if it's at level 1 or at level 5, level limit break, you are going to be fine with just getting 1 conditional boost. Yamato can remove the damage reduction. Yamato can be replaced by Law and Robin, the rare recruit Raw and Robin base. I can't say that when I try and speak in the mic. Law and Robin, this particular rare recruit right here, they can remove 6 turns of damage reduction, and they're a 3-turn color affinity booster, which is actually a little bit better than Yamato, but obviously Yamato's more points, being 1.4 compared to 1.3. If you guys are missing Roger and Odin, you're probably just going to have to replace them with a really good, strong captain. What that looks like, you might just have to run Ace and then use something like Treasure Map Sanji. There's like a particular Sanji character that can remove poison. He is an int unit, this one right here, from the Stampede, maybe, I think it is. He can remove poison that way, but other than that, you don't have too many options. You could bring PKA Luffy. He can remove the Special Bind, and then you can try and do some stuff by using Luffy on turn 1, and then use something like Shanks on the team as well to remove more paralysis. If you bring, if you bring Legend 6+ Shanks over Roger and Odin, that can work as well. Or just run Shanks on the team, he can remove paralysis, and you can do some fun stuff there. As for the intrusion, we have Zoro Sanji on this particular team. We're using the PK Luffy and the Whitebeard. The support of Marco can actually help us get around the poison on this particular stage, as we don't have Hiyori, but we do have to be careful of this pain and the healing debuff and the received damage taken. Zoro Sanji take care of the defense up and the threshold. You can use the free-to-play Zoro instead, or you can use Legend Momo if you did get lucky enough to pull Legend Momo. That's a really, really good option for Zoro Sanji. To get around the cooldowns, once again, we're using Nami, and she can be our attack booster and our orb booster if we can get below the threshold. Now, we have a 10-turn attack down if you're not a free spirit fighter or slasher character. Zoro Sanji going to turn everyone into that, but utilizing just these 2 characters here means you are going to do a lot of damage, being free spirit and fighter anyway. We don't have the Super EX for this particular team with Roger and Odin, but look, they're an attack booster, they're an orb booster, and again, they can just be replaced with like Shanks if you guys are missing them. They're just a really, really solid captain. So That's if you have Nami. If you don't have Nami but you have Hiyori, it's a little bit easier. With the support of Nami on PK Luffy, you can get around the special reverse. But Hiyori's really, really good for these teams because she does a lot in terms of utility. Damage is very easy to replace on these types of teams, but utility, it can be a little bit more challenging. She is going to do some fun stuff with counter healing and remove... what's it called? She removes... poison and blindness completely, so she rotates the what's it called? She rotates the poison orbs into matching orbs, and then you can if she has a rainbow or one orb in the special is activated, she removes the counter healing and counter recovery by six turns. So if you've done more than 30,000 healing as well, she can do some fun stuff there. So you need to make sure you have a rainbow or Wano orb on the unit for the actual counter healing to kick in. So for that to work, you kind of really want to make sure that you actually have a Wano orb or a recovery orb there somehow. I think with Odin and what's his name, Roger, you actually can get the Super EX because you have Edward Newgate, and then you also have Hiyori here. So once again, you can use their super class, then their super special. So that way you have the Wano orb to get around the healing shenanigans. You don't have to worry about the poison orbs actually with that now that I'm looking at it. Nami gets around the special reverse. We have the damage reduction for Yamato. Again, if you guys are looking for other options for damage reduction removal, you can easily use the database here. But the Nami Karina unit can be used. Law and Robin are your best option there. They're a rare recruit and they were highly boosted on News banner. Jellyfish Pirates, Zeph, like you have an abundance of characters that you guys can actually use on these teams as well. PK Luffy gives you more points. He removes special blind, so that way you can save the Luffy special for the revive. And then Whitebeard, he can remove barriers and stuff too, so that works out really, really nicely. On to the Sanji fight. We've just replaced Hiyori with Nami on this team. Nami with Hiyori, sorry. With the Nami support, you can... oh, hang on. This is the one that has the counter healing, right? Yeah, right. So you can actually save this Roger and Odin special and then use Hiyori later. She just needs to have a... she's going to have a poison socket. So yeah, you don't need the counter healing in that. So she just rotates those orbs anyway. Over here is where she needs the recovery or the Wano slot or the rainbow slot. I don't know how she gets that. I don't know. Maybe she starts with one. But you do want to try and get it somehow. As for getting it on this stage, you can actually use the Super EX and then use the special of Roger and Odin. That's going to give you the full board of Wano slots. And then that way you can actually then use her special to not only remove the poison, but also give yourself to remove the counter healing, stuff like that. You have Chain Boundary, you have Special Rewind with Nami. And then Zoro Sanji, again, they're removing the defense up in the threshold. If you guys don't have Zoro Sanji, you can easily replace them with that free-to-play Zoro or Momo, like I said. It's a great option there. However, if you were lucky enough to pull Luffy, you can actually do something like this. I just chucked on Legend Hiyori, whether it's Legend Hiyori or Momo, any way to trigger the Super EX of Roger and Odin. That way you can, again, do that strat where you do the Super type or Super EX of Roger Odin, then use their special to get full board of Wano slots. Then you can move into the second stage without having to worry about the poison sockets. That's going to work really, really nicely. Yamato removes damage reduction once again. Whitebeard's going to get through the barriers. You do want to use Luffy as your own sub, though, because getting the Super EX is actually quite challenging, or the Super type of Luffy. You can get the Friend Captain pretty easily, but having not 3 units on the team that trigger Luffy, it can be a little bit of a struggle. Getting below 30% is easy for the Zoro fight because you get the 80% HP cut, so that way you get the auto trigger anyway. That's going to work out pretty hunky-dory, and then you can use the Super EX to get around to this, and then use the other one special to get around to this particular paralysis. Again, Raw is a great option if you're not using Yamato. And then you just have Kazuki Hiyori here just to give you another attack and all boost. You can actually use her on turn 1. That's going to be really, really nice because you have the attack and orbs of Roger and Odin. Actually, they're going to kill, so it's not going to matter. But then on the Sanji fight, pretty much the same thing. We're using the Law and Robin for color affinity here. You can bring Yamato over to this particular team, though, if you want to. I just wanted to showcase something like different build, but that's going to give you way more points if you do something like this. If you don't have Hiyori here, you can run Ace. That's another option for you too. And running double Luffy is just going to get you a bunch of points that way. Unfortunately, without the supports of Hiyori and Nami, you are going to have to run something like the Legend Nami Paralysis Remover as your cooldowns on this particular team. But then, if you don't have Zoro Sanji, you're going to want to bring Defense Up and Threshold Removal like that free-to-play Zoro anyway. But this team should work fairly nicely. You want definitely want a Poison Remover on this particular team as well. Easy one for this team is actually using the Marco, and that works out pretty hunky-dory. But they're the options if you guys have one of the batch. Hopefully these teams help you guys out, and if they do, make sure to go in their belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, if you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!